Welcome to the Parkrun Brief, the weekly parkrun training podcast where I break down what we've published this week on parkruntraining.co.nz and turn it into practical coaching advice you can use this Saturday. So let's have a look at the Sunday reset and some small tweaks that will make next Saturday's parkrun feel easier. The first thing is I've got 5 quick tips you can utilize. And we're not talking about making next Saturday's parkrun the biggest breakthrough that you can. We're just trying to do things slightly better and redoing that each week after each week. Just those small improvements always adding up. So tidying up your first kilometre is probably the biggest thing I can get all my athletes to do. Most people will start too fast. They get caught up in the speed of the crowd. They get that first kilometre done and dusted really quick. And then they spend the next kilometre trying to recatch their breath and bring things into control. The tweak that I get all my athletes to do is aim to run that first kilometre at a controlled effort. Not at the excitement pace of the opening kilometre. Keep it controlled. Smooth breathing, relaxed shoulders, light feet. This will help you conserve energy for the second half of the run, which at the end of the day is where parkruns are truly decided and your performance comes to the fore. The next tip I get people to do is add an easy day into their training or make one of their days easier. Most people will try and run hard every single training run they do. Hard parkruns aren't a fitness problem, they're a fatigue problem because you're always running hard. Add some shorter, easier runs into your training where you deliberately slow down. It's that easy intensity where you build your aerobic fitness. It also gives you better recovery between sessions, meaning you are fresher when it comes to running your parkrun on the Saturday. Next up, practice running comfortably uncomfortable. This is the tempo intensity. This is that area between this effort's far too easy and this effort's far too hard. Just that fine line in between. In a parkrun, if that feeling arrives earlier than you'd like, your training may not be spending enough time near that effort level. So spending some training time at that tempo pace is going to pay you dividends. Include some intervals, some short controlled efforts where the focus is on relaxed control, not suffering. These will build your confidence at parkrun without overcooking yourself. Tip number 4, improve one simple habit outside of running. Some examples: better hydration, more consistent sleep, eating a little earlier on the Friday night so that's been digested and the carbohydrates from it are in your blood system, already stored as glycogen in the muscles or liver, ready to use on Saturday. Just pick one of them. Try and do that better this week. Pick another option. Do that better the following week. And the 5th tip, finish one run each week with purpose. Similar to a parkrun, you're trying to build the pace through the run. These types of training sessions will help you prevent fading later in the parkrun because no one really practices that progressive intensity in their training run. Never really finish or practice finishing a run strong. So once a week, finish an easy or a steady run with a short controlled lift and pace for the final 2 to 3 minutes. Don't forget to have a cool down afterwards, but the focus on that effort building up to that for the final 2 to 3 minutes. This will help teach your body as well as your brain that when you're a little bit tired, you can run hard. And I know I said 5 tips, but easier doesn't mean slower. When parkrun feels easier, it doesn't mean you're backing off. It means you're now fitter, you're running smarter, you're running more appropriately. But it also means that you could run faster if you chose to. You don't need to set a PB every week. But these 5 tips that I've just given, they don't demand any extra time. They don't need any more suffering or more discipline. It's a simple refinement of what you're already doing that your fitness can actually show up on Saturday morning and you can perform better as a result. Use today to reset. Choose one or two of those tweaks, let the rest go, employ them in future weeks. Next Saturday won't feel effortless, it will feel more controlled, more confident, and more enjoyable. For the Saturday spark, I have a checklist for a stronger performance in parkrun on the Saturday morning. So I've got 5 tips to do so. First one starts with arrive with time to breathe. Aim to arrive 10 to 15 minutes early so you can settle your breathing. Go for a jog over the first part of the course. Mentally switch into run mode. Warm up lightly, not aggressively. It doesn't take much. 10 to 15 minutes of easy jogging, a few gentle mobility movements, and then 2 to 3 stride outs to help you get used to a little bit of intensity should leave you feeling loose but not breathless, ready to perform well. Decide on your first kilometre strategy. Don't leave pacing to chance. What effort should the first kilometre feel like is a question you should ask yourself before every parkrun. You should be answering along the lines of controlled, comfortable hard, sustainable, smooth. If you can define how that first kilometre should feel, the pace will follow. Pick one thing to focus on during the run, whether it's your posture, your cadence, your breathing, even pacing, or just enjoying the atmosphere of the event. Pick one thing, focus on that, and don't let that drift from your mind during the parkrun. And finally, commit to a strong finish. Decide now to lift your posture in the final kilometre, to keep form when it gets tough, to finish feeling proud, not spent. Finishing well builds confidence for the week following. Shouldn't get to the finish and just be all about a big mad panic sprint. It's all about that intention. So make those decisions. How's that final finishing? Whether it's the final kilometre, the final 500, final 200. Might even be a long push to the finish, final 1500 or final mile. What's that going to look about? What is your intention? So to have a great parkrun, a number of simple habits need to be done consistently. Arrive calm, warm up smart, stay controlled, focus on that one thing, and then finish with purpose. If you can tick all those boxes for your next parkrun, you'll give yourself every chance of running a better parkrun, regardless of what that clock says. Friday's Fast Track article was the 4x2 minute VO₂ Max Run. This is a fantastic session, building that speed with slightly longer work intervals than short VO2 bursts. This workout will help you run hard while staying composed, which is a key skill for every parkrunner who wants to hold the pace when they increase their effort. So it starts with a 10-minute warm-up at level 2. Easy, relaxed running. You're then going to complete 4 2-minute reps at level 5, VO2 max intensity. 2 minutes at level 2, easy jogging between reps, and then finish with a 10-minute cool down at level 2, and then wrap things up with 10 minutes of stretching. This is important to develop that aerobic power and your speed endurance. It will help develop confidence running fast for sustained periods. It will build resilience when your pace gets uncomfortable, and it will strengthen your mental focus under fatigue, making race surges feel more manageable. During this workout, it should feel hard but controlled. Your breathing is going to be deep and demanding. You won't be able to speak more than a word or two at a time, but you'll finish each rep knowing that you can complete the next. With the work to rest ratio being equal, that's 2 minutes running at level 5, 2 minutes jogging at level 1 to 2. That work to rest ratio being equal allows quality to stay high across all 4 of those reps. Focus on running tall and relaxed, getting that good posture, quick cadence, shoulders relaxed, strong arm drive will help you stay efficient as your fatigue builds. These reps should feel powerful, not panicked, just like decisive moments in a fast park run. Now this workout is available on Velocity, a video-led session where you can connect your treadmill to the Velocity app and I will guide you through that workout. There'll be a link in the description where you can join Velocity and do that workout. In fact, I'll give a 14-day free trial so you can try it and any other workouts you wish to. That link will be down in the description. So, pacing for parkrun. Patience is key. It'll beat bravado over the 5K distance of a parkrun every single time. It's important to pace smart. Most parkrunners don't fail because they lack fitness. They fail because they ask too much of that fitness too early in the parkrun. Pacing is really about how hard you can run. It's about how wisely you choose to run. Over 5Ks, these choices add up quickly. Small pacing errors can quickly sabotage an otherwise solid run. Have you ever had that feeling after finishing a parkrun thinking, I felt great for 2Ks, and then it all went wrong? The wheels fell off. If so, this is for you. So pacing is a series of decisions, not a single number. Many runners think pacing is about hitting the right pace per kilometre. In reality, pacing is a rolling decision-making process that starts the moment the stopwatch starts. Every parkrun presents the same key choices. Do I go with the crowd or stick to myself? Do I push this hill or stay controlled? Do I respond to discomfort calmly or emotionally? The runners who pace best aren't the bravest, they're the most patient. Now I've got a guide about mastering your pacing for parkrun, coach's guide to running your best 5K. I'll have a link for that down in the description as well. But this is a great way to break down how pacing works in a 5K. So take the opportunity, download that free guide and utilize that, as it will build your understanding and looks at why pacing decisions matter as much as how you execute them. I know I touched on it in the Sunday reset as well as the Saturday Spark section of the articles from this week, but confidence trap in that first kilometre. It traps you in there, you're fresh. The effort feels manageable initially until it doesn't. Your watch shows that pace seems ambitious, but yeah, it seems doable. All these three things can mislead you. And this is where many runners unknowingly spend their fitness that they desperately want, sort of at 3K, 4K, 5K points of the event. Early pacing mistakes don't always feel like mistakes at the time. They feel like overconfidence. But that confidence without restraint often leads to a rising heart rate too early, your breathing rate that never quite settles, a slow creeping loss of rhythm from 3 kilometers onwards. Good pacing protects you from yourself. One of the biggest mental hurdles runners face is the fear of wasting a good day, especially a Saturday at parkrun. They worry if they don't attack early, they'll miss their chance, but in practice, the opposite is usually true. Pacing with control early will keep more options available for you later in the parkrun. You can respond to fatigue instead of reacting to it, and you can give yourself permission to finish strong. Strong finishes don't happen by accident. They are enabled by disciplined pacing choices earlier in the run. Your pacing reflects your training, not just tactics. How well you pace your parkrun is often a reflection of how consistently you've trained. Runners who train steadily tend to trust effort instead of chasing speed. They stay calmer when that discomfort appears, and they make smarter decisions mid-run. This is why pacing improves naturally when training becomes more consistent, even without consciously trying to race better. And it's also where the understanding what could be possible becomes powerful motivation. Many runners define themselves by their most recent parkrun time. That can be limiting, especially if conditions, fatigue, or pacing errors get in the way. Once again, my parkrun PB calculator shifts the focus away from a single result towards a more useful question: what might be possible for me with a few weeks of consistent training? You can download that parkrun PB calculator from the link that's in the description for free. It's not going to give you a prediction for what you'll run on Saturday, and it's not a full pacing prescription either. It's a way to connect your training habits with what is possible in the future in sort of 2 to 6 weeks out, and what perspective alone can improve your pacing by planning towards it. So stop forcing unrealistic early speed. Become more comfortable running within yourself and focus on finishing well rather than impressing early. Ironically, letting go of the need to prove your fitness in that first kilometre often unlocks better overall performances. A smart way to judge a parkrun is, instead of asking, did I PB, try asking, did I run with control early? Did I stay mentally engaged through 3 to 4 kilometre mark? Did I finish feeling like I used my fitness well? Those questions will reward good pacing, and good pacing is what eventually leads to PBs anyway. Parkrun pacing isn't about being fearless, it's about being thoughtful. It's about trusting the process, respecting the distance, and allowing your fitness to show itself gradually rather than demanding everything up front in that first kilometre. If you combine consistent training, patient pacing, and a clear sense of what is possible, not just what's immediate, you'll not only run better parkruns, you'll also enjoy them more. So the tip of the week for parkrun is hydrate well before your run. Hydrating doesn't start when you line up on the parkrun start line. It starts the day before. Turn up even slightly dehydrated will make your run feel harder than it should, elevating your heart rate, increasing perceived effort, and limiting your ability to maintain pace. Good hydration is simple, controllable, and one of the easiest ways to support a strong parkrun performance. Hydration is all about preparation, not panic. Drinking large amounts of water right before a parkrun, it won't fix your dehydration. It will leave you feeling bloated. Instead, focus on steady hydration across the day before you run. Regular sips on fluid. Aim for clear or pale yellow urine as a simple hydration check. Pair your fluids with meals and snacks, and don't wait until you feel thirsty. Consistent intake of fluid helps your body absorb and use those fluids effectively. Hydration isn't just about water. Electrolytes, particularly sodium, help your body retain fluid and support muscle function. You may benefit from lightly salting meals, including naturally salted foods, or using a low-dose electrolyte drink, especially in warm or humid conditions. This is especially useful if you're a salty sweater or training frequently. In the morning before a parkrun, keep it simple. A small glass of water on waking, a few sips close to the start line if needed. If you've hydrated well the day before, you won't need to overthink race morning drinking. This will help you run better with a good hydration through a lower heart rate at a given pace, better temperature regulation, improved endurance, reduced cramping risk, and more consistent pacing. You're setting your body up to perform, not playing catch up. And finally, hydrate early, hydrate consistently, and let your body do the rest. By drinking well the day before parkrun, you arrive at the start line ready to run, not already behind. Sometimes the simplest habits deliver the biggest gains. And finally, we have a look at Kelly's parkrun Waitangi in Wellington. She had a pretty good run, and you can see that it was well executed by not how fast she started, but how strong she finished. And this run is a textbook example of smart pacing, emotional control, and confidence building across the full 5 kilometers. Now, I've got the YouTube video of that. I'll link to that in the description. But in summary, her splits were 4:57, 4:54, 4:59, 4:58, and then smashed out a 4:40 to finish with. What jumps out immediately at me when I looked at this was the exceptional consistency across those first 4 kilometres. The spread between her slowest and fastest split in that opening 4Ks is less than 5 seconds. Kelly wasn't reacting emotionally to the start. She didn't surge with the pack. She didn't chase early runners and didn't burn matches trying to bank time. Instead, she settled into a sustainable rhythm, and she did so quickly that she was able to comfortably hold. And then the key moment came, that decisive final kilometre, where she ran 15 to 20 seconds faster than her average pace. Finishing fast matters, and Kelly's fastest kilometre coming at the end tells us 3 important things. She regulated her effort early. Energy was preserved rather than spent too soon. Her confidence grew during the run. Each kilometre reinforced that she was in control, and the surge was a choice. It wasn't desperation at the end to try. It was a deliberate, conscious choice. That final push was done, and done well. This is the opposite of a classic parkrun mistake, and I've done this mistake many times myself, where runners open too hard and fade gradually and hang on grimly to the finish line. Kelly's run shows what happens when pacing discipline meets your fitness. You earn the right to accelerate late. During the run, her heart rate rose gradually through the run rather than spiking early. Her cadence stayed high and consistent throughout the run, lifting slightly towards the finish, and her running power increased late, matching that faster pace in that last kilometre. There are all signs that Kelly stayed within herself early and let that effort build naturally. Now, the big question, could she go faster next time? And my answer is possibly, but not by trying harder. Couple of options for her. Starting just 5 seconds per kilometre quicker while keeping the same controlled feel. Bringing that will give her a faster time through to the 4K mark. She might not run as fast for that final kilometre, but if she can, awesome. She hasn't banked that speed, so she shouldn't lose that pace in that final kilometre and might be able to sustain that 4:45 to 4:50 a lot more comfortably right through the event. The other option for her, instead of surging for that final kilometre, committing from 1,500 metres out instead of waiting for that final kilometre. Either of those 2 approaches redistributes her effort rather than increases it, which is a key distinction for sustainable improvement. The takeaway for your next parkrun is Kelly's example at Waitangi. Calm, controlled opening kilometres, a stable rhythm through the middle of the run, and a confident, intentional push to the finish line. If you want to run faster at parkrun, don't focus on trying harder, focusing on managing your effort better. That's where the biggest gains usually come from. My Parkrun Kickstart, 4 weeks to your best Saturday run yet, is available. I've got options within there for all running abilities. So whether you're new to parkrun, returning after a break, or feel like you're guessing your way through each Saturday parkrun, Kickstart is the perfect place to begin. This 4-week plan is designed to help you build consistency, learn how to pace yourself properly, and arrive at parkrun feeling prepared rather than pressured. You'll get clear, structured sessions, simple guidance you can actually follow, and a framework that teaches you how to run smarter, not just harder. Parkrun Kickstart takes the uncertainty out of your training so you can line up each Saturday with confidence, control your effort, and finish stronger than you started. Join Parkrun Kickstart and lay the foundation for better parkruns this month and beyond. And I've got a link for that down in the description. It's only $47 to get started. Thanks for listening in to the podcast or watching on YouTube. All the links mentioned are down below. You can click on them, join Parkrun Kickstart, download my free PB calculator, and I'll look forward to releasing a whole range of training options and the tools you can utilize for next week, next Monday. Until then, ka kite anō, have an amazing week and all the best for your parkrun this Saturday.